construction of hardwood, the way this is molded, right here where I'm pointing is the nail pocket, okay? So you have the tongue and the nail pocket. Above the nail pocket is the wear layer of solid hardwood flooring. So above the nail pocket from here to here is almost 6 millimeters. You know, normally above from the tongue up is about 5/16. So, you know, then you're venturing into 7 millimeters. So a lot of times when people are talking about engineered flooring, they will intermix some terminology that isn't necessarily what we consider engineered flooring. So that would be luxury vinyl plank, or LVP, and laminate. So those two other types of flooring, they are flooring, but they're not what we consider engineered flooring. Most of the time, an engineered floor that we discuss here at City Floor Supply is going to be a hardwood wear layer over a plywood core. Now that plywood core, it could be Baltic birch plywood core, some of the best plywood out there. It can also be eucalyptus plywood core. There are other alternatives to that don't make them either, you know, better or worse or any of that. They're just different construction methods to get you an engineered floor. And the engineered floor concept has really changed over the last, you know, decade and a half. No longer are we seeing certain species, say like hickory or maple, that are rotary peeled off of a log. So what's rotary peel? It's where the whole log bowl is put up against a knife and peeled like a potato, kind of thing. So this is a plywood core that is Baltic birch. It's a very, very good quality core engineered plywood product. Multiple layers. They can be, you know, 7 layers, they can be 9 layers, they can be 12 layers. It really just depends on the thickness of your overall floor and what your wear layer is going to be. There is some engineering to that as far as what the base plywood thickness is going to be versus what your top wear layer is going to be of the hardwood that's glued to it. You know, the adhesives I was talking about earlier, that rotary peeled technology was great at consuming a lot of the log. So Baltic birch core, eucalyptus core, again, very difficult to tell the difference between the two. A lot of it is in the coloration of it. The species itself, Baltic birch versus eucalyptus. Eucalyptus was or is like a farmed style wood. Readily available, still goes through all of the testing, like heating cycles, cooling cycles, relative humidity, dry, all of that stuff, still tested, does a great job. You know, I have no complaints about it at all. Again, it's just a different style core. This is from Superior. This is the enhanced product. So the enhanced core for their engineered product is what we were discussing earlier, which would be those vertical grain staves. And you can see the individual pieces of wood in here. And the vertical grain, by that I mean the growth ring is up and down. So your stability in that, the way that's sawn and put in the core is great. Like, it's very stable floor. They do individual pieces. And again, it's vertical grain. And then on the bottom, so this top is white oak. This just happens to be stained. You have a core of vertical grain ash, and then the bottom is ash hardwood as well, but is also a sawn face. And when I was talking about bonded earlier, so these are multiple pieces just like the vertical grain here, multiple pieces of ash, but these are vertical. The bottom is plain sawn, meaning the growth ring is going to give you that kind of like that cathedral look. That's how it's cut from the log. So this would be an example of a Hevea core. This particular side is the indicator that this particular wood is Hevea. What's Hevea? It's essentially a rubber wood. It's found mainly in Asia. It's a core that's abundantly used. Again, not saying one is better than the other, just giving you these options, let you know that the core construction in engineered flooring can be, just about anything. Typically, you want to use something that's stable because it is the core of the product, where the hardwood lamello is now going to be on top. But this is the Hevea core, and if you look here, you'll see that they are the Hevea staves, and not necessarily vertical grain in this example, but again, that's all up to the manufacturer. This particular manufacturer uses vertical grain in the staves. You can see that. And this manufacturer doesn't, but they're using staves. What we're looking for is stability, and the construction of the product and a quality product, it does matter. So understanding the core, understanding the species going on top of that core, those are all important things in making a decision on what floor is going to work best for you, your application, or your installation of flooring. All right, just to give you an idea, familiarity with plywood. This is a standard construction grade plywood. This happens to be 3/4 inch plywood. It is used for flooring on the inside of your house over your joists or over your radiant heat. It can be the sheathing on the side of your house. It can be the decking on your roof. This is universally used for the outside shell of your home or inside on the joists. This is not the kind of plywood that's typically used for engineered flooring. The consistency and the grade of this style plywood, is just not good enough. When I'm talking about voids in plywood, to give you a look at the quality of engineered product, when you're looking at samples, you look at the side and you see voids. This would be your standard construction grade plywood void. Now, on a good quality floor, you just wouldn't see these. Like that's not something that would be acceptable. And the wear layer can be any species that is available to you. We have the wide plank floor supply mill, and that material is mainly domestic species in the mid-Atlantic. But again, any species can be made into engineered within reason. Species, it's a great utilization of the wood. You can get things in the engineered product as far as width that you probably wouldn't want to do in a solid. For instance, you have a piece of hickory. Hickory is an extremely hard domestic species, as well as northern maple, but hickory, as dimensional stability, it likes to move a lot. So doing hickory in a solid up to 5 inches with your glue assist and all of that, perfect. If it's going to go wider, 6, 7, 8, 10, or 12, this is 10, you really should consider that material in this species in an engineered product. So whether your wear layer is going to be 2 millimeters, 3, 4, 5, or 6, one is going to depend on the manufacturer. 2, it's going to depend on your thickness of the overall finished product. Whether that's going to be 1/2 inch. I've seen it as low as 3/8. 1/2 inch, 5/8, or 3/4. And what the substrate is going to be. Is it going to be over radiant heat tubes? Is it going to be on concrete? Is it going to be over traditional construction, which are joists and plywood? So all of those things you definitely want to discuss with either your client or the homeowner or the builder, architect. All of those are going to decide, one, what species you're going with, because the species is what you're going to have stained or what treatment you're going to have on it. Whether it's got black bleed or whether it's wire brushed. All things that can be done to solid can be done to engineered flooring. This particular piece is a reclaimed oak, and we call this original face. And essentially, original face product is the outside of every beam that is from a raised building, whether that building is a barn or an old industrial building. The outside cut of that beam, the four sides of that beam, what we call original face. So it has all of the patina. You can see there was probably a joist across it here, iron stains from the nail. The stability of that isn't that great. You'll see voids of these nails going all the way through and a crack. We like this material to be 6 millimeters thick, and a 6 millimeter thick gives you a really good original face reclaimed product. So this is 6 millimeter. I do want to show you the difference here. This is a solid piece. This just happens to be hickory, and hoping I can give you guys an idea of just kind of pointing this out. But the construction of hardwood, the way this is molded, right here where I'm pointing is the nail pocket. Okay, so you have the tongue and the nail pocket. Above the nail pocket is the wear layer of solid hardwood flooring. So above the nail pocket from here to here is almost 6 millimeters. Normally above from the tongue up is about 5/16. So, then you're venturing into 7 millimeters, but you have a nail pocket. When you're sanding this floor, the usable material as far as the sand and finish job goes is from the surface to the nail pocket. Once you get into the nail pocket, you've exposed the cleat or the staple that the board was fastened to the subfloor with. It's no longer able to be sanded. So the wear layer of 6 millimeters is about as close as you'll get in an engineered floor to a solid floor's wearability. And how many times can it be quote unquote sanded and finished? We get that question a lot. How many times can it be sanded and finished? Engineered floors at 4 and 5 and 6 millimeter, because of the technology available today with the sanding equipment, can be sanded multiple times. All right, so that pretty much covers engineered hardwood flooring, core, wear layer, species, widths. As you can see, versatility-wise, engineered gives you a lot of options. I think the really great thing about City Floor Supply and Wide Plank Floor Supply, our bespoke custom mill, that you can do a solid floor in part of your house, and then if one part of your house is radiant heat or over a crawl space or on a cement slab on a sunken living room, you can do engineered of the exact same floor because it's all done at the same mill and not worry about it. So you could do engineered flooring in one part of the house that would require it and do solid in the rest. So those are options that you can get here at City Floor Supply. So if you have any more questions, you can give us a call at 800-737-1786 or go to our website at cityfloorsupply.com.